Hey, what's going on out there? Still following through what I said I was gonna follow through with, but like I told people, my majority of my time I'm gonna be working on homelessness. Now Donald Trump came into office and said he was gonna do what he's gonna do, and him and Tom Homan is doing it. And I noticed that a lot of people are upset. They're mad. They're saying Donald Trump, it's not right. It's not fair. A lot of Americans are advocating for these people. They just caught a guy from Thailand that was here ever since 2009. Apparently, he had some involvement with some young kids, but he is still here. His mother is legal, but he's not. So let's see what News Nation has to say or what's going on with the arrest. Let's get it.
Alderman Raymond Lopez, who is a Democrat. Alderman, it's always good to see you. Let me just start with the fact that border czar Tom Homan was in Chicago this weekend actually observing these immigration arrests, and sources telling News Nation 5 Tren de Aragua members were among those arrested. How significant were these arrests and what we saw go down here in Chicago this weekend, sir?
Well, good morning, Mark. Yeah, I think it is very significant to have Tom Homan here, and in many cases, being present for the actual arrests of individuals who are clearly dangerous in our communities. To see him here with the entire strength of the federal government going after exactly whom they said they were going to go after, those dangerous criminals in our communities, it should be reassuring to many. However, we know that many of my Democratic colleagues here are going to continue to use this as an opportunity to gaslight the administration and try to defend having a completely open, welcoming sanctuary city, even to criminals in our communities.
Can you confirm that everybody who was arrested in Chicago this weekend was, in fact, a dangerous immigrant?
Well, we know that that was their targets and that was their priority goals this weekend, to go after the dangerous individuals in our communities. But we also know that there was an opportunity for collateral captures, and there are some concerns that we may have had a couple of those as well. But that is exactly what I and a number of my colleagues were trying to avoid when we wanted to amend our welcoming city ordinance, our sanctuary laws, to limit the opportunities for collateral captures by working with ICE when we arrest an individual who's a target for them and turning them over willingly. Sadly, many of our colleagues don't see the value in protecting the 98% of the long-term undocumented by handing over the 2 or 3% that are criminal migrants in our neighborhoods.
And, you have been very vocal about blaming Chicago leaders, including the mayor, about, stoking fears within the community that, they're just going to be going around, rounding people up indiscriminately. What do you tell Chicagoans? I mean, what's your message this morning to those who don't know who or what to believe as this is now ongoing?
Well, I think what we can do, and I'm very thankful that Immigration and Customs Enforcement is being very transparent in who they are arresting, what the crimes that they were committing, or accused of committing were, because I think it's important for people to see that they are not going into churches, schools, and hospitals to round up children or your grandparents, that they're actually going after very dangerous individuals. And I think that it's very difficult when you have the local fear-mongering machine in full effect, as we saw last week when Secret Service individuals went to a school and the Chicago Public Schools apparatus was quick to blame ISIS trying to raid the building. You need to be transparent and you need to be clear about what's going on. And this is only the beginning. Last week, there was discussions that there are up to 2,000 targets in the city of Chicago alone, which means this will not be the end by any stretch of the imagination. And we got to figure out quickly how we're going to work with ICE to achieve those goals of removing those dangerous people soon.
And speaking of working with ICE, I guess not found it interesting. I guess we knew this was coming, but Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson actually tweeted out. He said Chicago police were not involved here. What kind of opposition did we see from local law enforcement this weekend when ICE and Tom Homan came in? Do you know what that looked like here on the ground?
Well, I know for one that the mayor, his socialist allies, and all of the advocacy complex that's here in the city of Chicago have been working overtime to try and make sure that everyone knows their rights, which is fine. But they've also been stoking a lot of fear across many immigrant communities like Little Village, where Mills was at, and other communities, basically warning people that ICE was going to come in mass and start taking everyone blindly knocking on doors, which couldn't be further from the truth. They are stoking fear against the federal government because they want people to be afraid. They want people to be panicked, and they want to show desolate neighborhoods, when all Tom Homan has said is that he wants to focus on dangerous criminals so that they can come in and leave communities as quickly as possible. And it's truly a disservice to our residents to see the mayor and his allies whip people into hysteria simply for their own political benefit.
Well, we'll see where this second week goes and what these continued raids look like here in Chicago. Chicago Alderman Raymond Lopez, always a pleasure to have you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find news.
It ended right there, but that's what they're doing. They're actually trying to lie. Tom Homan said one thing, he wants the criminals, but like she said, they're trying to fearmonger and they're trying to make Tom Homan and Trump look really bad. What do people expect when you got a lot of illegals here, especially doing the wrong thing? Doing the wrong thing. This is Big Hawk, that Yonkers native, the host of Street Talk, bringing you some update of what's going on. And ICE, the Department of Homeland Security, they doing their thing. I'm out.